Ever feel like your life is just a series of things happening to you? A never-ending chain of events that pull you in different directions, leaving you feeling powerless and exhausted? What if I told you there's a single switch you can flip to take back control? It's not about controlling the world around you. That's impossible. It's about controlling the one thing you truly own, your reaction. Think about it. Two people can experience the exact same event: a traffic jam, a critical comment, a project setback, and have completely different outcomes. One person gets angry, stressed, and their whole day is ruined. The other takes a deep breath, sees it as a moment to pause, and moves on unaffected. The event was the same. The difference was their response. This isn't just a nice idea. It's the fundamental secret to building a life of purpose and peace. The space between what happens to you and how you react to it is where your power lies. And today we're going to explore how to master that space. Let's start with a foundational concept: stimulus and response. Something happens. That's the stimulus. You react. That's the response. For many of us, the gap between these two is almost zero. The stimulus hits and we have an immediate, automatic, almost programmed reaction. Someone cuts you off in traffic, boom, you honk and yell. Your boss questions your work, boom, you get defensive and anxious. A friend cancels plans, boom, you feel rejected and sad. These are reflexes, not choices. They're habits we've built up over years, often without even realizing it. Living this way is like being a puppet. External events pull the strings and you dance. They handed over the control of your emotional state to things you can predict or manage other people's moods, the weather, the stock market. But true freedom begins when you intentionally create a pause between the stimulus and your response. In that pause, you find your power. In that pause, you get to choose. You can choose to respond with anger, or you can choose to respond with understanding. You can choose to feel defeated, or you can choose to see a lesson. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's not about pretending you're not angry or hurt. It's about acknowledging the feeling without letting it dictate your actions. So, how do we create that crucial pause? It starts with mindfulness. The first step is simply noticing your automatic reactions as they happen. Don't judge yourself for them, just observe. Wow, that comment really made my stomach clench with anxiety. Or, I feel a rush of anger right now because that car just cut me off. This simple act of naming the emotion separates you from it. You are not your anger. You are the one asterisk experiencing asterisk anger. This distinction is everything. It creates a tiny bit of space. A powerful tool to practice this is the 3-breath pause. The next time you feel a strong, negative emotion bubbling up, stop. Before you say a word, before you type a reply, just stop. Take one deep breath in and out. This first breath is to ground you in the present moment. Take a second deep breath. This one is to give yourself a moment of clarity. And take a third deep breath. With this breath, ask yourself, what is the most constructive, most aligned with my values way to respond right now? 3 breaths. It takes maybe 10 seconds, but it can change the entire trajectory of your day, your relationships, and your life. It transforms a knee-jerk reaction into a conscious choice. Now let's talk about discipline, because making conscious choices isn't a one-time thing, it's a practice. It requires discipline. The word discipline often sounds harsh, like punishment, but its root meaning is to teach or to learn. So think of this as training yourself. You're training your mind to be your ally, not your enemy. This training happens in the small moments. It is choosing to go for a walk when you feel anxious instead of scrolling on your phone. It's choosing to listen fully to someone you disagree with instead of planning your rebuttal. It's choosing to focus on the solution after a mistake instead of dwelling on the blame. Each time you make a conscious, intentional choice, you are building a muscle. Let's call it your response muscle. At first, it's weak. Your old automatic habits will be much stronger. You'll try the 3-breath pause and still end up snapping at someone. That's okay. You wouldn't expect to lift a heavy weight on your first day at the gym, right? The key is consistency, not perfection. Every time you catch yourself, every time you manage to create that pause, you're doing a rep. You're making that muscle a little bit stronger. Over time, what was once difficult becomes your new default. Calm, thoughtful responses become your new automatic reaction. That is the power of disciplined practice. A huge part of this is about defining who you want to be. Your reactions don't just affect your mood, they define your character. Do you want to be known as the person who is easily angered? The person who crumbles under pressure? Or do you want to be the person who is calm, resilient, and a source of stability for others? When you're in that pause between stimulus and response, you can ask yourself, what would the person I want to be do right now? This question shifts your perspective from being a victim of the moment to being the architect of your identity. Let's get practical. How can we build this inner strength daily? One of the most effective ways is through a practice of intentional discomfort. Our modern lives are designed for comfort. We avoid friction at all costs. But growth happens at the edge of our comfort zone. So, intentionally introduce small, manageable challenges into your life. Take a cold shower for 30 seconds. Do a workout that really pushes you. Tackle the hardest task on your to-do list first thing in the morning. Volunteer to give a presentation. Why does this work? Because it trains your mind to tolerate discomfort. It teaches you that you can feel uncomfortable and still function, still make good decisions. You can consciously change this narrative. Instead of, this is terrible, try, this is a challenge and I am capable of figuring it out. Instead of, why does this always happen to me? Try, what can I learn from this situation? This isn't about toxic positivity or ignoring reality. It's about framing the event in a way that empowers you to act constructively. The event itself is neutral. Your interpretation of it is what gives it power. By controlling the story, you control your emotional response, which in turn guides your actions. Think of your life as a ship, and you are the captain. The weather and the ocean currents are the external events, the stimuli. You cannot control the storm, but you can control the rudder. Your reaction is the rudder. A reactive person lets go of the rudder in a storm, allowing the ship to be tossed around, damaged, and thrown off course. A disciplined, intentional person holds the rudder firm. They acknowledge the storm, they feel the force of the waves, but they make constant, small adjustments to keep the ship pointed toward their desired destination. They understand that their primary job is not to calm the storm, but to navigate their ship through it. Your life is not what happens to you. It is what you do with what happens to you. This is the ultimate form of personal responsibility and the ultimate source of freedom. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own life and being the driver. So I challenge you today, start small. Identify one trigger, one automatic reaction you have that doesn't serve you. Maybe it's how you react to being stuck in a line or how you respond when a family member pushes your buttons. For the next week, make it your mission to practice the pause in that one situation. Just notice it, take 3 deep breaths, and choose a slightly better response. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. Start building that response muscle, 1 rep at a time. Redefine your narrative. Seek out small discomforts. This is the work. It's not glamorous, but it is the most rewarding work you will ever do. Because by mastering your reactions, you are mastering yourself. And when you master yourself, you unlock the ability to build the life you truly want, regardless of the storms that come your way. You become the captain of your ship, the architect of your reality. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building a stronger, more intentional life. I'd love to hear in the comments what one reaction you are going to work on this week. Let's support each other. See you in the next video.